And hello, everyone. I'm David Guzman inside the NBC4i Digital Center for a special edition of NBC4 Sports Extra. Usually we have Ryan Day at the podium, but we have a different podium to show you today because it is the week of the game, the rivalry, Michigan and Ohio State. So we begin a special week with a look at the Michigan Wolverines. We're awaiting Sherrone Moore to get to the podium up in Ann Arbor to get things started on what's going to be a really interesting week of anticipation leading up to the 121st meeting between Ohio State and Michigan. So let's kind of give you a bit of a background with what the Wolverines have been doing up to this point while we await for Coach Moore to get to the podium, which should happen in any moment from now. Michigan going into this one, ranked 15th in the country, 9-2 overall with a 7-1 Big Ten record. They're perfect at home this year, 5-0 at the Big House, and they're currently on a 5-game win streak, most recently defeating Maryland 45-20 on the road. This will be their first home game since the beginning of the month, November 1st, when they defeated Purdue 21-16. Their only two losses were in week number 2 against Oklahoma. That was on the road, 24-13, the final in that one. And their only Big Ten loss was also on the road. That was at USC, 31-13. So once again, we're awaiting Sherrone Moore to get to the podium to talk all things rivalry week between Michigan and Ohio State. As we said, a 121st meeting. The Wolverines entering this matchup on a 4-game win streak in the series. Ohio State has not won over the Wolverines since 2019. The 2020 edition was canceled due to COVID. And then the last 4 years, this has been all about Big Blue in this rivalry. Ohio State trying to end that streak by Michigan, but Michigan looking pretty good going into this one. Let's also kind of give you a little bit of background on Sherrone Moore as we still await Coach Moore to get to the podium. Second season as Michigan's head coach, 16-7 overall record, and 11-5 Big Ten record since taking over the helm. Hails from Derby, Kansas, and he was an offensive lineman at Oklahoma. So kind of young in terms of how many rivalry games he's been in terms of being a head coach, but obviously very experienced considering his background and the time that he has spent up in Ann Arbor. Once again, we are awaiting Coach Sherrone Moore to get to the podium as we await his comments and take a look at Ohio State and what they've been able to do. They're coming off of a 42-9 win over Rutgers in the home finale of this season, a pretty dominant victory, overcoming a slow start and winning by a significant margin despite having two of its wide receivers out due to injury. They were playing without Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Max Clare was able to step up. He was the leading receiver. The tight end was the leading receiver in that game. 7 catches for over 100 yards. All right, let's take you to Ann Arbor. Sherrone Moore about to get to the podium. You see the reporters all about to put their recorders up at the podium as we are awaiting Sherrone Moore to get to the podium to talk about this upcoming matchup between Ohio State and Michigan. Let's take you there now.
Big game or something. Got a lot of people here.
Appreciate everyone coming today. Get started with Coach. I see a couple hands. We'll start with Isaiah here on the left.
Sherrone, with this being Bryce's first rivalry game, how do you keep him kind of composed going into it? And how do you prepare him for a game like this?
I mean, he's well educated on the rivalry. He knows everything about it. He's seen it from afar, and we've talked about this game for a very long time, whether it be spring ball, whether it be training camp, whether it be the summer. So everybody knows what this game's all about. They all understand it. So it'll be about going through the routine and just doing the things that he's done to this point to get him prepared for the game.
On the left, Clayton.
You guys have beaten them over and over, no matter where it's been. But what do you expect from the fans, and do you have a message for them with what the environment could be?
Be the loudest, most ravenous, craziest, energetic environment that we've had in Michigan Stadium ever. That's what we want it to be. The loudest place it's ever been. I don't know what the decimals have been or what they could be, but we need them to reach peak on Saturday.
On the right here, Ryan.
What have you done to beat Ohio State today?
A lot. Woke up, worked out, prayed, watched a lot of film, met with our coaches, met with our staff, already met with players, anything possible, and then just try to be in the same routine that we've done and create the edge that we need to go win the game.
Tony.
Ohio State's been ranked like number 1 or number 2 in now 5 straight of these.
Yeah.
4 in a row. You guys have come out on top. People outside the building seem to think you guys have like mental edge on them. Do you see that, feel that?
I mean, I just think we're just going to go prepare for the game. I don't know what really outside the building, none of that really matters. What people think, what people say doesn't matter. You know, what matters is how we prepare and how we get ready for this game mentally, and that's it. So I don't know what the mental edge piece. I just know that we're going to just go prepare to go win the game.
How have you guys been able to flip this? Because you were here for a few years when it was the other way. Now it's gone completely in your favor.
Yeah, you know, obviously our players playing really well in those games and executing those games has been a huge piece. And yeah, we've had good game plans, but our players have played their best games in those games, and that's ultimately been the difference.
Right behind him, Charles.
Yeah, what have you seen from Ohio State's offense, specifically the passing game?
Yeah, it's potent, man. It's one of the best in the country. Obviously, the best team in the country. You know, the receivers are elite. Jeremiah is elite. Carnell Tate is elite. You know, they got Brandon Ennis. He's elite. The tight end Max Clare is a really good player as well, and quarterback is elite. You know, they've got elite players everywhere on the field from a skill position standpoint. Running back's really good. O-line's good. So it's a challenge I know our defense is ready to go take on.
In the front left there, Anthony.
No, readiness for this game isn't always linear, but to come off a blowout win over this weekend, do you feel like that's positioned your group for this week?
I mean, you know, momentum is a real thing, right? You know, guys understand how they played, and they prepared that way. So we expected to play well. Didn't know, you know, can't really worry about what the outcome and the score is going to be, but felt like we played good comparatively to, you know, especially on offense, how we played the game before. But can't say we played extremely bad on offense. It was just turning the ball over, right, in the game before. So we moved the ball, but we just, you know, took care of the football. We scored in the red zone when we needed to and did the things that we thought we could do to win the game. So gives us good momentum in the game. But, again, that doesn't mean anything. You still got to go prepare for it.
On the right here, Aaron.
Going back to the mental edge thing, I mean, is there value to be had in having, you know, a 4-game win streak in a rivalry of this magnitude?
I mean, I just know that being a part of rivalries, the other games don't matter. You know, whatever happened in the past doesn't matter. So all we can do is focus on now. This is a new team, new staff, new players, new coaches. Again, new environment, you know, different. And so all we can do is focus on, like, today, and that's it.
But the players on the team with the previous couple of years' wins, I mean, they know what it takes to win this environment, right?
Yeah, I mean, they understand what the game is about, but, again, it's a different team. They're a different team. We're a different team. So we can't predicate this win or the prediction of a win or the prediction of the game or the score on what has happened in the past. All we can do is work to be successful on Saturday.
Over here, Austin.
Sherrone, can you just speak to the job that Tony's done with the running backs to get different guys ready to play every week, given injuries?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Tony, you know, ever since I hired him, I knew he was a home run hire from a recruiting standpoint and development standpoint, and now it's just proof in the pudding. You got third running back rushing for over 100 yards and, you know, runs hard, runs physical, and he demands it out of all of them. They all play that way. They all work that way. They all practice that way. And it's awesome to watch. It's awesome to watch those guys develop and how he coaches them, push them. Him and Coach Jackson are outstanding combination to coach those backs.
In the front here, James.
Before last year, no one had ever lost this game and finished any higher than, I think, third in the poll record. Obviously, they've lost and won the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be a lessening of an intensity. It also goes with, like, you guys potentially playing multiple times down the year if it's a Big Ten championship game. How much, if at all, do you think that result last year, then losing and then winning, changes? Not like the meaningful part of it, but maybe the intensity, the magnitude of this rivalry?
Yeah, I don't think anything changes the intensity. it's as intense as a rivalry you'll see in sports. So I don't think the outcome, regardless win or lose, is not going to change it. It's a new year every year. It's a new game. So yeah, I don't think that's going to change the intensity.
How do you guys channel that intent? It seems like intensity fits your play style. How does intensity fit the way you guys play?
Just the way this place is built, what Michigan is all about, the intensity, the intentionality of how we practice, how we prepare. That's what we want. We want it like that. We want that physical battle. We want the toughness. We want the violence. That's what we want. So it fits us, but, I mean, they're playing really well. They're playing physical as well. So we've got to match it, and they've got to match us.
Over on the left, Dave.
Yeah, now you've been a part of a few of these. I mean, how would you describe it to people who haven't been a part of this rivalry? What is it on the field that you cherish so much about it?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was talking to Coach Lindsey about it. He's been the Iron Bowl, and we've talked to people that have been in the Iron Bowl and been this one. It's different. You can't describe it. Like, literally, I could try to describe you the feeling of exactly what it feels like. Oh, it feels like this. It feels like this. I can't. Like, I remember last year going on the field with Jay Sean, and we're running out during warm-ups. He's like, oh, this is different. He's like, and Jason don't say much, so for him to say that, he said this is different. So it's a feeling that you can't really describe. It's an intensity. It's it's just an aura about it that you can't describe until you get on the field. But it's awesome to be a part of. It's great to be a part of. It's the best rivalry in sports, in my opinion. The funnest one to be a part of. It's competitive. But there's nothing like it.
Over on the right here, Larry.
If I can squeeze a couple in. Bryce, with everything that he's had to handle on the field, off the field, what has impressed you most? And then Reese and Downs, their stars on defense, what specifically do they do that makes them difference makers? Yeah,
start with Bryce, man. Just how he's grown so fast, and I mean, he was here at 11:45 last night watching with Donovan McCulley and guys, and he's so intentional with everything. And I mean, then he was in here this morning with Coach Lindsey watching the game, and like he wants to be so good, and he works his tail off, and he's so humble about it, and so great with his teammates. You know, he roots for his teammates and so close with his teammates. And to me, that's such an awesome piece. When in this world today, he could be about himself very easily and not think about the team at any point. You know, and to have a balanced attack like we have on offense right now, and for him to be just so humble and so grateful to be a part of it is an awesome thing to see. Reese and Downs are excellent players. You know, Arvell is as elite as an edge rusher, as an edge player as we've seen all year, and Caleb Downs is probably one of the smartest football players in college football. Just from seen a lot of football, played a lot of football, and both those players are elite players that we got to deal with.
Over on the left, John.
You said there are no freshmen by this point in the season.
Yeah.
Can you identify things that maybe Andrew Marsh is doing at this point that maybe he might not have done in early September?
I mean, just the making the plays, but being able to do all the different things, lining up different places and different positions is different. You know, he wasn't able to do that at first in training camp, but now we can put him all over the field, and he doesn't make the mistakes. He knows exactly where to go. He knows exactly what to do, and obviously he continues to make plays. He's been doing that since he's got here, but being able to go in all those different positions has been special.
In the back left, Joel.
You know, it's one thing to talk about it, but that feeling that you just tried to describe, where you can't describe it. It seems like everybody, when they're a part of this rivalry for the first time, they have that moment where they step out there and they go, whoa, I did not realize that it was like this. Even if there's no real freshmen this time of year, those guys who haven't done it before, what needs to happen to make sure that nobody is overwhelmed by experiencing that for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to educate them throughout the year of what this game is all about. You know, training camp, had speakers come and talk about it. We'll talk about it throughout the week. They'll, you know, throughout the building, they see it every day. They see it even more now. But I don't think there's really a way to just take away that initial feeling that you're going to get when you walk on the field. And you kind of don't want them to take that away. You want them to feel that intensity, that burn. That's that little extra motivation. It's like putting on that favorite song on your ear pods or your AirPods right before the game. So you want them to have that feeling a little bit, to that little jolt right before the game.
All the way over to the right, Joe.
Sherrone, you guys have outscored Ohio State by about 35 points in the second half the last 4 years. Why do you think you guys have been stronger when the game's been on the line?
I mean, again, the players. The game plans are great, but we always talk about the how, not the what. And the players have just executed, and their will to break is, they're unbreakable. Especially in that game, they want to be unbreakable. They want to do everything they can to go win that game. So, but again, this is a new game, new year. So we've got to reset the clock and try to do that again.
In the back right, Wojo.
Sherrone, the way last year's game ended with her huckle or whatever you
Yeah.
call it, the leg and everything else, do you think that has any bearing on this, or do you even bring it up with your players what to do or not to do?
No, we talked about that at the beginning of the year, and we've been pretty good about any post-game interactions of, when we win a game, or, when you're end the game, we're going to go to our student section, go to our band, and shake hands, cordial ending, and be done with it, and that's it. So our guys have been good about that, and we'll continue to do that.
Angelique.
Sherrone, what makes a Matt Patricia defense different?
Yeah, I think those guys play together. They play really good together. There's so many different coverages, front variation, blitz variation, and it's game by game. There's a story in each game of how he calls the game. It's not just, this game is doing this. It's not just by formation. It's just not just by personnel. It's by game. So we've got to do a good job of identifying that early in the game and figuring out how to play that through all 4 quarters, because I think it changes as you go half to half.
And also, what's the status of Max and Ernest and Samaj?
Yeah, Max, X-rays we'll see. Didn't look great, but if anybody can push through it, it's Max Bredesen. So we'll know more as we go through the week. Samaj will be fine, and Ernest will be day to day.
Just so you know, I've got 5 names here. I'm gonna try and get through them before we bring the players in. So we'll start with Tony.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too. How about Rob?
Rod will be out. Yeah.
Is he out for the season?
Yeah, most likely, yes.
Reiner.
Welcome back.
Obviously, the stakes have changed a little bit going into this game.
Yeah. Where you been, man?
Doing something else. But the college obviously with the college football playoff
Yeah.
on the line. I mean, how do you kind of channel the same energy that you brought into the last game?
Yeah, I mean,
against these guys.
I think that's something you talk about. It's something guys know. They acknowledge. They understand the importance of this game. That it's different than last year. You're playing for something big, and that's what you want. We always talked about they remember November, and to be able to play for that, play for a spot possibly in the playoff, and even in the Big Ten championship, like all those things are at hands, and our kids deserve to know that they're in that position. And we'll talk about it, but at the end of the day, we still got to go prepare.
And then also, I mean, your performance obviously in these rivalry games, these big games. What is it about you that allows you to kind of meet the moment, I guess?
It ain't me. It's the kids, man. Like I'm not out there playing. I love it. I love doing this. I love being a part of this team, and we work tirelessly as a staff to go win these games. But it's not me. It's those kids that step out in the field.
Brian.
Dominic Salvato was obviously an X factor in last year's game. How big do you think it was for him to make that kick late against Maryland, and how would you assess where he's at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge for him to make that kick. Needed the confidence for him and needed him to do it, and obviously hasn't kicked as good as he wanted to throughout the year, but made the ones that we've needed him to, so that's been good to see.
Right in front here, James.
It's just styles make fights. How are you guys able to dictate the style of play in a game like this?
Yeah, I can't give you all that answer right now, man. It's going to be a different style of fight. We'll see how we have to, what happens, but, we definitely got to do all we can to dictate it.
Last question here, Aaron.
How do you win Saturday? You talked about this being a different game, different year. How do you win?
Yeah, I mean, one, you got to win the line of scrimmage. Always got to do that. You can't let outside variation, outside things, outside noise control the preparation and the progress of what we're doing and the process of what we're doing, because there's a lot of things going on, right? It's college game day, it's big noon kickoff, it's this, it's that. There's going to be a lot of people here, but at the end of the day, we got to channel our focus on our preparation, and that's how you win. Prepare the way we prepared for those last 3 games.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bring in Gio and Marlon in just a second.
All right, that was Sherrone Moore at the podium as Ohio State and Michigan prepare to meet once again for the 121st time in the history of this rivalry. Michigan with a 4-game winning streak, while Ohio State trying to get their first win in this rivalry since 2019. We're expecting to hear from some of the players momentarily. While we have a moment, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back here on NBC4 Sports Extra. All right, we're back here on NBC4 Sports Extra, getting ready for Michigan and Ohio State. Let's go back to Ann Arbor. We got some comments from the players as they get ready for the latest edition of the rivalry.
And we can get started in just a moment here when everyone's set. We'll begin on the right here with Larry.
Way back last summer, you did an autograph signing at a car dealership with Bryce, and looking at what he's had around him back then, all through the season and on the field, what has impressed you most about how he's handled his business?
Yeah, I think that's a huge shout out to his family, keeping the young man grounded and, really just letting him grow up himself and being by his side. And it's just been an awesome thing for an older guy like me that's seeing a lot of guys come through here with me that left and all that stuff. And, just seeing a 17-year-old, now 18, with all that kind of stuff with, NIL deals and media and, he's a celebrity. And really just him growing up in front of my eyes, it's just been awesome to see. And the growth that he's shown, especially these past couple of weeks on the field, it's just been amazing to see.
In the back right there, Sam.
Marlin, how do you talk to younger players on this team about the rivalry?
Yeah, I think anybody that says that this is just another game is crazy, because it's not. This is the game, and that's, for a reason. I can't really tell you what it feels like. I can't really, tell you the emotions that I have when I go out there for a game like that, especially for that game. But and you can't really talk about it. You got to be in it and you got to experience it. So, and that's what I'm going to be, telling the freshmen. That's what's my message for all these younger guys that haven't been out there and haven't experienced those feelings yet. But they will on Saturday, and I'm super excited for those guys to really, live in that moment and really experience the greatest rivalry in college sports.
All the way to your right here, Aaron.
You guys have obviously won the last 4, but it seems like you also have a quote-unquote mental edge on Ohio State. What value do you put in that rivalry situation?
Yeah, we don't really think about it that way. I think we just worry about us and what we have to do in our mental space. And that's really just being the best versions of ourselves each and every single day. So we're just trying to be the best team that we can be every single day and get better and better leading up to Saturday.
Just in front of you here on your right, Ryan.
How do you think playing this game at home compares to playing this game in Columbus?
It was sweet winning down there last year, but it's going to be even better here, in front of our fans and our student section, our band, and just in Ann Arbor. I mean, it was the best place on earth, and getting that win against that team at home will be huge. So, just super excited for the opportunity.
And how much did you watch Ohio State throughout the year, and what stands out about their defense?
Yeah, I think that's something that we talk about, and really all year. I mean, it's all over the building, and if you turn around, you see Michigan, Ohio State, all that stuff over there. That's something that it's in the back of our mind all year long, and now it's here. It's Monday of Ohio State week. Now we can let all those emotions, get out and let it fly and let it rip on Saturday. What sticks out about their defense is, it's kind of the same thing every year. They got so many great players that will be first, second round draft picks in the NFL, and they got a new DC who's been doing such a great job with them. And for me, the way I see it, it's just another opportunity to show what we can do. And we're just trying to make it about us and not them.
All right, just next to him here, James.
This is styles make fights. How important is it for you guys to dictate the way this game is played?
Yeah, I think that's really just the sport of football. We're trying to dictate how the game goes every single Saturday. It's fast, physical, and violent. That's the same thing we're going to try and do on Saturday.
How do you think the intensity behind this rivalry fits that fast, physical style you guys play?
Perfectly, yeah. I think that's what describes this rivalry, and I think those are the three reasons why this rivalry is the kind of game it is.
Just behind him, Reiner.
Yeah, going back to last year, the stakes were a little bit different for you guys, and me attribute to like playing without, like you had nothing to lose. Obviously, college football playoff berth possibly is on the line here. How do you channel that same energy into this game that you had last year?
Yeah, we have everything to lose, and that's how we attack it every single day. We're trying to be the best team, and I stood up here about 3 weeks ago and said the same thing, that every single game that we play from here on out is going to be a playoff game. And now we're here. We've put ourselves in this position now where we win this game, we're in. So that's how we're going to treat it. But we don't see it as a challenge. We really just see it as an opportunity. And we're super blessed to be in that position.
All the way in the back on your right, Dennis.
How much you guys care that you're around a double-digit underdog in this game?
Not at all.
Why not?
It's been like that these past 3 years. Yeah.
All the way to your right here.
I was going to ask that question, but let me ask you this one instead. Matt Patricia, a lot of history in this area, his first year with Ohio State. What do you think of the job that he's done and leading that defense?
Yeah, he might not, he doesn't really have the best reputation in the state of Michigan. But he's done such a great job at Ohio State. They're that kind of defense. They're the #1 defense in the country for a reason. And, that's really just all to his credit. And his players buying into what he's trying to do down there. So yeah, we're just excited to step on that field on Saturday and really measure ourselves with him and his team.
Go back towards the middle there, Angelique.
Marlin, you mentioned Bryce's celebrity. How would you quantify it? How would you describe it?
He's a celebrity outside of the building, and when he comes in here, he's our little friend. He's my starting quarterback. I love the kid. He's such an awesome kid. And you really couldn't tell. If you told me that he was just some random kid, I'll believe you, because he's just such a nice and humble kid. But yeah, that's all going back to his parents raising him, I think. And a lot of kids, if you hand them those checks and the cars and all that stuff, all these NIL deals, they'll probably switch up. And he hasn't done that at all, and he's the most humble 18-year-old I've ever met with all these achievements. But yeah, he's been here all morning, and he's ready to go. So just super excited for him to get this opportunity on Saturday and really feel those emotions for the first time.
And Sherrone said he met with the team this morning. What was his message for this week?
It's about us. It's about Michigan. That's what it's always about. And there's a playoff game. We win this one, we're in the playoffs. But I think Ohio State. You win this game, you'll be remembered in Ann Arbor forever. So we, especially as seniors, we get to put our stamp on this one, and we're just super excited to do that on Saturday.
We'll go with 3 more for Marlin, maybe 4 on the left in front. Anthony.
And how encouraging was it for you guys to finally put together a complete offensive performance heading into this game?
Yeah, super encouraging. I think for us, it's really just been a work in progress. A lot of new pieces, a lot of young guys, a lot of new coaches and all that stuff within the building, and I think that's what a game should look like on the offensive, defensive, and special teams side of the ball before heading into this game.
I was going to ask actually about it being a work in progress. With that in mind, how have some of these close games and having games like Northwestern where you've got all these yards but are turning the ball over and thus it's close, how do you think that all of these types of games prepared you for this week?
Yeah, I think, those tough times, those are the ones that make you. And I'm just super proud of this team and, sticking together. And that's something that Coach Moore's been preaching ever since we stepped foot in this building after the Alabama game earlier this year. It's really team over me and, just play as selfish as possible. And I mean, I think the greatest thing for me this season was, seeing Derek Moore and Jay Barham, going crazy when Zavada made that field goal to win the game. Like, and they're on the defensive side. Like, they could have been mad. Like, offense, you had 5 turnovers. Like, you don't win a football game turning the ball over that many times. But we did, and the joy in their faces, that made my year. And that just shows you what kind of team we are.
All right, back to your right, towards the front, Tony. Before week 1, we were talking with Brandon Hillman. He was talking about New Mexico, and he said, like, they wear the same colors as that team, and we don't like them. I mean, how long have you been thinking about this, and how long have you been hoping to be in this moment?
Yeah, every single day. That's what this game means to me. It means everything to me. If you ask me what the greatest day of my life was, it was last year, going down there and, beating them in their place. It was the best day of my life so far, and just trying to repeat that this year.
Would this trump that, given what you guys would then get to go on and do?
What's that?
Would this trump that?
Yeah. My senior day, them coming to our house in front of our fans, student section, band. It'll be the best day of my life. So just looking forward to Saturday.
All right, we'll finish up just next to Tony here on the right. Reiner?
What's the confidence level in this team if you guys play a clean game that you guys can win? And how much is fundamental execution just kind of the key to everything here?
Yeah, football is a fundamental sport, and you're going to get beat if you don't play with technique and fundamentals. And you've seen it all over the country. Great teams losing just because they didn't play with the technique they were taught by their coaches, and that's why we've gotten close to losing here and there. But yeah, just locking it back in and really getting the work starting today, locking everything in, locking into the details, and you got to be detailed and use the right fundamentals to beat a team like Ohio State. But yeah, it's going to be a great challenge on Saturday.
Thanks, everyone. We appreciate your time. We'll be right back with Gio El-Hadi.
Appreciate it.
That was Marlin Klein, senior tight end for the Wolverines and a native of Cologne, Germany. Fun fact. 19 receptions, 209 yards, 1 touchdown so far this season, as, again, the Wolverines getting ready to take on Ohio State at the Big House in Ann Arbor, looking to extend their winning streak over the Buckeyes to 5 straight games. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We're going to get some more player insights from Ann Arbor in just a moment. You're watching NBC4 Sports Extra. All right, let's go back to Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Wolverines getting ready to take on the Buckeyes, and at the podium is Gio El-Hadi, 5th-year offensive lineman. Let's get his insight into how he's preparing for the rivalry.
We've versed a lot of great defensive lines throughout the season. They're a great D-line. Should be ready for whatever they throw at us. They're going to bring some new stuff, like they always do. No matter what they bring, just fall back on our training and our preparation.
On your right, all the way in the back, John.
How have you seen the psychology of this rivalry change and the confidence maybe grow on this side of it in the last few years?
We're not really worried about the last couple years at all. This is a whole new game, whole new team, whole new year. Every day, just keep ramping up just a little bit until game time you let it all out. That's kind of like how I feel like, especially as a captain for the team, how we should look at the game.
On your right, in the front here, James.
You say styles make fights. How important is it for you guys to dictate the way this game is
Can you say it one more time, boss? Sorry.
They say styles make fights. So how important is it for you guys to dictate the style of play?
It's very important. The offense moves how far we go. So if we're not moving, they're not going to move pretty far. So we have to strain till whistle blows. We have to out-physical them. We have to give everything that we got this game.
On your left, Anthony.
What does it say about, I guess, the culture in your room and maybe just the run game in general that you guys are starting 3 redshirt freshman offensive linemen, and you just ran for over 200 yards with your 3rd through 6th string running backs?
Isn't that great? It just shows how ready the line has been, no matter who's in there. It's been like that for since I've been here, since my freshman year. Damn, it's been 5 years. You know, whoever's out there, you gotta be ready. You're not gonna only have 5 offensive linemen. You need at least 10 to 12. There's gonna be injuries, just like when I got injured. Phoebe went in there and he balled out. That's what you need as an offensive line.
On your left, all the way in the back there, Joel.
And Gio, everybody talks about this game all year. You know, until you actually get out there against Ohio State, there is nothing that compares to what that atmosphere and what the intensity of this game is like. What do you remember about your first time going up against them, and how does that affect what you tell some of the younger guys who are going to be doing this for the first time on Saturday?
Wow, that's a really good question. My first time going up against them was last year officially, and just that feeling you get, you know, it's kind of like when siblings fight. You guys know that feeling? When siblings fight, you have that rage. You know, it's that type of feeling. And I tell the young guys, you know, we have 3 guys that never played against this team, so I try to explain to them how important it is to play against this team. That it's gonna be a brawl. You know, they're gonna throw some jabs. We're gonna throw some jabs. Be a couple uppercuts. At the end of the day, we have to win the game. That's what's important.
Back on your right, just in the front here, Ryan.
Rod Moore won't play on Saturday, but what type of maybe emotional support do you think he could bring to this team this week?
You know, Rod's such a great leader and such a great man. You know, I love Rod. I've been here since we were freshmen, me and him, and just that leadership that he could bring for the defense, for the secondary, the whole team. And, you know, let's play for him. You know, Rod deserves to be out there, and it makes us sick that he's not out there. Let's win the game for Rod.
And what win over Ohio State would you say is most memorable to you?
Which one?
Yeah.
Probably my freshman year. You know, it was the first time I beat him. I don't know how many years, and it was like a movie. You know, I had a concussion at the time, but so I wasn't dressed, so I was on the sideline in a big puffer jacket. But just like the snow and just the atmosphere was just insane. And then after the game, 2 seconds after the game, you look and the whole fans are in the field. That was crazy.
All the way to your right here, standing.
You guys have won 3 of the last 4 as an underdog, same situation again this season. Why is it the records truly don't matter when it comes to this game? The past doesn't matter.
I feel like every rivalry is like that. And, you know, we're always underdogs, no matter what our record has been or how good of a team we've had. So, but when these type of games, no matter if we're 0-11, we know how important this game is. Just that sibling fight, like I was telling you about, you just want to win it so bad.
Standing just next to him here, Larry.
How about Reese? Somebody you got to deal with. What do you see from him on tape?
Great player, fast, strong. He got all the attributes of where he should be going in the NFL. Just got to move your feet fast and get ready for whatever he throws at you, and just be sounded in your technique. Because if you're not, he'll beat you.
Same area here on your right, Aaron.
Given what's transpired in the rivalry the last 4 years, do you believe you have a mental edge heading into Saturday as a team?
You know, we really don't think it like that, or me personally, I don't think that way. Like I said, it's a new year, new team, and I'm just trying to get my group ready to go out there and win the game.
Could you speak to the stakes of this game? What's on the line for you guys?
It's everything. You know, if we don't win, we're only bowl eligible. If we win, we get in the playoffs, maybe Big Ten. So it's just an added benefit of winning this game.
About halfway back on your right, Angelique.
Piggybacking on that, Gio, does that change the way you approach this game because you have, versus last year, still underdog, but more at stake?
Not really. You know, it's still Ohio State. We still got to win the game. Just like last year, we had nothing on the line, but we still won the game. I feel like we have nothing to lose. You know, when we verse this team, we have to give everything we got, no matter if it's to make the playoffs or make nothing.
And I think I asked you this before Michigan State week. When someone asks you about Ohio State, like, what's your immediate reaction?
I don't like them. That's it, really. No, I don't really like to talk much about them.
All right, back to your front right. We'll finish things off with Rayner.
You know, when you look at where this program has kind of grown under Sherrone, how important is this game kind of to continue along that trajectory, winning this game particularly?
You say that one more time,
when
boss.
When you look at the program as a whole, where it's grown since Sherrone has been here, how important is this game to kind of continue with the trajectory you guys are on as a program?
I feel like every week we've been getting better and better as a program, as an offense, as a defense, as a whole team. And I feel like we're just reaching our peak at the right time. And this one will be obviously a big one. And I feel like it'll be a very good trajectory. I just feel like, you know, everything we work for this year has been for this moment. You know, all the blood, sweat, and tears we put throughout the year, all the hard practices, hot-ass days, has been for this one day. So we're ready for whatever they throw at us. At the end of the day, our job is to win.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great rest of your day and safe travels.
All right, that was Giovanni El-Hadi, the offensive lineman for Michigan. And that wraps up the media opportunity from the Wolverines standpoint as they get ready for the rivalry game, Ohio State at Michigan on Saturday, a noon kickoff, 121st meeting between these two schools. Before we go, we do want to take a look at the Big Ten standings going into this contest because this upcoming game has a lot of implications for who will play in the Big Ten championship the following weekend in Indianapolis. Let's take a look at the Big Ten standings. There's actually 7 different scenarios. Obviously, Indiana and Ohio State, they're 1 and 2 in the Big Ten standings. And should Indiana beat Purdue and Ohio State beat Michigan, those two teams will meet in Indianapolis for the Big Ten title. However, Michigan and Oregon are still in contention to make the Big Ten championship. There are a couple of scenarios where the Wolverines can make the Big Ten title game. Obviously, Michigan has to win in order to make the Big Ten title game, in order to have a chance at competing in Indianapolis. One of the scenarios that has Michigan in is if Michigan defeats Ohio State and Indiana defeats Purdue. They also need Washington to defeat Oregon in order to win the tiebreaker. So Michigan would play Indiana in that scenario if Indiana, Michigan, and Washington win in this final weekend of the regular season. Another scenario where Michigan is in the Big Ten title game is if Michigan beats Ohio State and Purdue somehow upsets Indiana, and then Oregon has to defeat Washington. That would set up an Oregon versus Michigan matchup in the Big Ten title game. And then the other scenario, which would be quite extreme, but also very possible. It is possible that Michigan and Ohio State could meet for the second consecutive weekend in the Big Ten title game. In order for that to happen, Purdue has to defeat Indiana, Michigan has to beat Ohio State, and then Washington would have to defeat Oregon. That is the only scenario in where Michigan and Ohio State would meet again for the second consecutive weekend, this time with a Big Ten title game on the line. So 7 different scenarios involving these 4 teams, Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon. They're all in contention to make the Big Ten title game in Indianapolis. So just something to think about. Obviously, the easiest way for Ohio State to ensure their spot in the Big Ten title game is to just simply beat Michigan this week. And of course, a win on Saturday would also end a 4-game losing streak against the Wolverines. So just something to think about as we continue on previewing the rivalry. Much more to come this week here on the NBC4 streaming channel. We will also have Ryan Day at the podium on Tuesday. We will have previews breaking down the matchup. We'll also kind of go into the mindset of the players and talk about the mentality for both teams going into this. And of course, we will hear from the players as well. So much to look forward to this week here on the NBC4 streaming channel and on NBC4 Sports Extra. We're going to get you prepped for the rivalry game on Saturday, which will take place in Ann Arbor Saturday at noon. For now, though, I'm David de Guzman. Thanks for joining us on this edition of NBC4 Sports Extra. Until next time, have a good one.
Thanks for watching. For more NBC4, download the NBC4 streaming app. You'll get free 24/7 local programming streamed straight to your living room. Just search NBC4 Columbus on your Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, or Samsung device.